Hello, everyone. Welcome to Astro Reader PH, and thanks for dropping by for some astrology. Happy New Year! It looks like that Killjoy Christmas kinda left some of us wanting for a little more celebration. It's that restrictive energy that we've talked about that's making us pretty antsy for freedom. So this week, it looks like we gotta be extra careful with our wallets to avoid splurging. Or we might feel an overwhelming need to enjoy ourselves and overindulge. Maybe it's because we feel so restricted overall, so we want to compensate with our wallets. Stay tuned as we go deeper into our updates. First off, we open up the week with the new moon in Capricorn. New moons are great for starting new things, and then over the next couple of months, building upon these new beginnings. So, with Capricorn energy, we are probably beginning some Saturnian endeavors now. Maybe projects relating to our careers or dreams, or something relating to promotion of ourselves or our business. Capricorn energy relates to these areas. Capricorn is a goal-oriented energy, so we could be setting goals now. The kind of goal depends on the house of Capricorn in your chart. So if you have Capricorn in your 6th house, or you're a Leo rising, you could be starting a diet or fitness project now, or doing some house cleaning. Capricorn likes structure, so we could be setting up some structure in areas of our lives that may have become a bit disorderly. Again, the area depends on the house of Capricorn in your chart. There could be added duties and responsibilities these times, too. Next up, one of my favorite times is finally here. Mercury, the planet of communication, thinking, logistics, business, and the like, is in the sign of its exaltation, Aquarius. So Mercury is what you would call exalted starting this week. When a planet is exalted, it is said to perform its overall best. Hence, it's safe to say that Mercury will be at peak performance this week, like a well-oiled machine. Mercury in Aquarius can lead to brilliant solutions to problems. It's like genius energy. So you could find that your intuition improves this week. If you're already intuitive to begin with, you'd be even more so. And if you need to have some documentation or errands done, this is an excellent time to do it. We also communicate better, so we are able to convey ourselves more clearly now and avoid misunderstandings better. Schedules are likely to cooperate or sync better too. And transportation, like traffic, is probably not going to be as bad as the usual. Aquarius is also about friends and networks, so we could be scheduling some activities with groups or friends, and we could ask our connections for help when we go through some challenges. I suppose that's also one way how the exaltation of Mercury can come into play. Unfortunately, Mercury is also in its shadow period now, because it will go retrograde on January 14. So while things are more likely to go smoothly and efficiently now, and we're at peak brain performance, there's still a chance you may have to go back and redo some things at a future time. Anyway, it's easy for us to complain when things go bad, like if we have bad transits, but it also pays to notice and appreciate when things are going right. So make it a point to enjoy Mercury in Aquarius when you can, especially since it's gonna go retrograde next week, as I said. But that's for next week's video. That said, we still gotta be on the lookout for other minor inconveniences, like void of course moons. As I always say, void of course moons can make or break our plans. These astrological events tend to give us unexpected results, which is why it's not wise to make major moves during them, like making big purchases, starting new jobs, and the like. The tendencies for these activities to fail or have a different outcome than expected. So, for example, you bought something pricey during a VOC moon period, maybe some shoes. Because you bought them during a VOC period, maybe you won't end up using them. Maybe you find out that they're actually quite uncomfortable to wear, so you end up tossing them into storage or giving them away. So that's just one way that this energy can play out. Normally, I don't mention them anymore, but this upcoming VOC is pretty special. While most VOCs range from a couple of minutes or hours, this one will take almost 24 hours, a whole day. It will occur from January 5 to 6. As for the exact 24-hour time frame, it would depend on your location and your time zone, so you'll need a VOC moon calendar. For that, you can check out this website, Moontracks, or use this app, Simple VOC Moon Calendar on Android. Check the description box. I'm not affiliated with them. These are just my usual sources for VOC moon calendars. For more information about VOC moons, check out my video on them. Next, Uranus in Taurus has gone stationary retrograde. Now, I know I said that after that Killjoy Christmas, we would gradually feel less restricted, that the worst is over for the lockdowns. I still believe that's true in the long term and in the big picture, and that with the help of freedom-loving energies like the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, we are on our way to freer days. But in studying astrology, you have to look at both the big picture and the details, the long term and the short term. Think of it as big waves and small waves inside the big. So we still have a few hurdles every now and then in the short term. And as I mentioned, there's still some residual energy to deal with. For example, we have Uranus turning stationary retrograde starting this week until around January 18. Uranus is a planet that is big on freedom. And when a planet goes stationary retrograde, coming from retrograde, then it's at its weakest point. Do you remember the time Neptune went stationary retrograde last November? Neptune is a planet of rest, and we barely had any rest back then. So this time, we may feel restricted for a while, with Uranus stationary retrograde. Uranus in Taurus is ruled by Venus, because Venus rules Taurus. And interestingly, this somehow coincides with Venus retrograde. So these energies go hand in hand. So it's possible that because we're feeling pretty restricted, we feel dissatisfied. We could splurge and overindulge or get into questionable relationships. But as I said in my Venus retrograde video, Uranus goes direct on January 18 and Venus on January 29. So it's likely that we'll feel less restricted in the short term, towards the end of January, as Venus and Uranus finally go direct. Uranus rules friendships and networks too, so if you've been facing challenges in those areas, you could see some improvement towards the end of January as well. The important thing here is, if you're feeling restricted and dissatisfied right now, try not to blow a hole in your pocket to overcompensate, because this is likely just a passing whim. Try not to do anything you may regret, like draining your resources, especially starting this week because Venus will go combust. Before I move on to how Venus combust will try to light up our wallets, I'm currently finishing a 2022 video series for each sign, which I'm excited about. So I just want to invite you to please like and subscribe so you'd stay updated for that. Thanks! So as I've been saying, Venus retrograde is doing a number on our finances right now. We could be seeing a lot of needless spending here and there. Overindulgence. If you've been wise, you could find yourself on the receiving end of these transactions and stocking up for better days. Maybe you understand how Venus retrograde works, so you've been careful not to splurge. But this week, Venus is gonna go overdrive because it's gonna go combust. So things are bound to get more interesting. Venus goes combust roughly from January 5 to 11. This isn't a clear-cut delineation, so you could use a bigger radius. But to be safe, that's the peak period. So as we always say in astrology, when a planet goes combust, it gets too close to the sun and goes haywire of sorts. Combust, just as the word implies. It goes wild. Something could blow up. There's an explosion of energy and it's volatile. So when Venus goes combust, we should watch our finances and feelings. With money, we might go big on the spending. We could gain or lose big amounts. We could buy big ticket items. Same goes for pleasures like food and drink too. We could overindulge. But like I said, if you happen to find yourself on the receiving end of all this generosity, then you'd be wise to at least keep some of it. With love, Venus combust could really tempt us into explosive, wild flings or interactions. We could go overdrive in declaring or professing our love. The term love bombing comes to mind. Relationships could turn volatile. So just be aware of these tendencies so you can stop yourself from doing something you might regret. For a brief period, Venus goes cazimi sometime on January 9 if you live in the east and January 8 if you live in the west. Cazimi means in the heart of the sun, so it's like a brief window in the middle of a combustion when things go well. Like an eye of the storm energy. This is a very brief period of a couple of hours though, so be careful still. Finally, we're just getting settled down with Jupiter in Pisces, which just began last week, on December 29. This is a gradual energy that will last until April. Jupiter in Pisces energy is excellent for rest, creativity, and spirituality. So we are more likely to take breaks in the coming months, go on vacation. We could be much more interested in art and spirituality too, so we could delve deep into these concepts. Jupiter is well placed in Pisces, so there may be more blessings for us now, especially for those with strong Pisces placements. Pisces also increases escapism, addiction, and delusions, so be careful with going overboard with those as well. I haven't gotten around to making a video on this, but I hope to. It's funny because Jupiter in Pisces can make us a little lazy, and here I am with a lot of backlog of videos to catch up with. So I'm sorry if I'm running a little late with my updates. And that's it. Thanks for watching the astrology of the week of January 3 to 9 for all signs. Please like and subscribe if you like this. Thanks!